Sometimes learning English feels difficult. You try to remember words, you try to understand grammar, and your mind gets tired. But then, you hear a song in English. You don't know all the words, but something happens. You feel something. Maybe it feels happy. Maybe it feels peaceful. Maybe it makes you remember something in your life. That's not a mistake. That's the magic of music. Music goes directly to your heart. It speaks through sound, not just meaning. You don't need to understand every word. Your brain still listens. Your brain still learns. When you listen to music, you are not just hearing English. You are feeling English. That is very powerful. You are not reading rules. You are not studying with pressure. You are simply listening, and something inside you begins to change. In this episode, we're going to talk about how music can help you learn English. Slowly, gently, and naturally. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to listen. Let music guide your ears. Let music be your first teacher. Let's start with something simple. How do babies learn to speak? They don't sit down and study. They don't read grammar books. They don't memorize vocabulary lists. They just listen. Every day they hear the same words. They hear voices. They hear rhythm. They hear sounds. And slowly, without pressure, without fear, they start to understand. They begin to connect sound with meaning. That's how we all learned our first language. Now think about music. It's very similar. Music gives you language with sound. It gives you repetition. It gives you emotion, and it gives you rhythm. These things are powerful for your brain. When you hear a song, you are not just enjoying the music. You are also hearing real English. You are learning without even trying. This is why music is such a natural way to learn. It doesn't feel like studying. You don't feel stress or pressure. You don't feel tired or bored. You just feel something. And that feeling helps your brain learn faster and remember more. Also, music fits into your life easily. You don't need to sit at a desk. You don't need a teacher. You don't need 2 hours of free time. You can listen while walking, while cooking, while waiting in line, while driving, even while falling asleep. Music becomes part of your day. And because of that, English becomes part of your day too. You're not saying, I have to study English now. You're just living your life, and English is in the background, helping you, training your ear. This is how we learn best, not with stress, not with fear, but with repetition and joy. Another reason music is natural is this. Your brain loves patterns. It listens for rhythm, for structure, for melody. And when a word is part of melody, your brain holds on to it. That's why people remember songs so easily. Sometimes, even after many years, you hear a song and you still remember the words. That's not memory, that's music. So if you want to make English part of your brain, don't force it. Don't fight it. Just let music do the work. Let the sound of English enter your ears every day. It's simple, it's slow, and it works. Learning a new language can feel difficult. You sit down with a book. You try to understand grammar. You try to remember words. You try to say things correctly. And sometimes, it's just too much. Your brain feels tired. You start to think, I'm not good at English. But maybe the problem is not you. Maybe the problem is how you are learning. Now imagine this. You play a song. You sit back. You close your eyes. You just listen. No pressure. No test. No rules. That's the difference. When you listen to music, there is no stress. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to answer questions. You don't need to be perfect. You just listen. Your brain still works. It hears the sounds. It feels the rhythm. It starts to remember small things. Maybe a word, maybe a phrase, maybe just a sound. But slowly, these small things become bigger, and your understanding grows. Music gives your brain a break from pressure. It lets you relax. And when your brain is relaxed, it learns better. Think about how you feel when someone says, "You need to study now." Maybe you feel nervous. Maybe you feel tired before you even start. But when someone says, "Let's listen to music," you smile. You feel calm. You feel open. That's the feeling we want. Because learning with stress is hard, but learning with peace is powerful. Music also helps you listen for longer. With a textbook, maybe you stop after 10 minutes. But with music, you can listen for 30 minutes or more. You don't even notice the time. And this is important. The more you listen, the more you learn. Even if you don't understand everything, your brain is collecting sounds, words, patterns. It's like water. You don't see it working, but it slowly shapes the stone. Music shapes your mind, softly, gently, without stress. So next time you feel tired from studying, put the books away. Play a song, close your eyes, just listen. You are still learning. You are still growing. And you are doing it in the most peaceful way. Have you ever had a song stuck in your head? Maybe you hear it one time, and later the melody comes back. You're walking, cleaning, or thinking, and suddenly, that song is playing in your mind again. That's the power of repetition. In music, many words and phrases repeat, over and over again, sometimes in the chorus, sometimes in the verse, sometimes at the beginning and at the end. And that repetition is very good for your brain. Your brain learns through patterns. It remembers things it sees or hears many times. When you listen to a song, your brain hears the same words again and again. At first, you don't understand. But later, your brain starts to recognize. It says, "Wait, I've heard this before." And little by little, you begin to understand more. This is very different from reading a word one time in a book. When you read something once, you forget it quickly. But when you hear something many times, especially in a song, it stays with you. Music makes repetition easy. You don't feel bored. You don't feel tired. You're just enjoying the song. But while you enjoy it, your brain is working. It's learning the sounds. It's learning the order. It's learning the feeling. And when a phrase comes back again, your brain says, "Oh, I know this." That's how you build memory. You don't need to try hard. You don't need to memorize. You just need to listen again and again. It's like a child learning the word hello. They hear it every day. They hear it from different people. And soon, they understand it. Then they say it. Then they use it. Music works the same way. It gives you English slowly. It repeats it with rhythm. And your brain remembers without stress. So if you hear a song and you like it, don't just listen one time. Listen again tomorrow. And the next day. Let the words become part of you. You don't have to understand everything. Understanding comes with time. Just trust the process. Your brain is always listening. Even when you don't notice, it's learning something new. And one day you'll hear that same song and smile. Because suddenly, you'll understand a little more. That's not magic. That's repetition. And it works. When you try to speak English, sometimes the words feel strange. Your mouth doesn't know what to do. Your tongue feels slow. The sounds are difficult, but that's okay. You are not alone. Speaking a new language is hard at the beginning, especially if you don't know how it's supposed to sound. That's where music can help. Music gives you real English sounds, not from a teacher, not from a textbook, but from real voices, natural and alive. And the more you listen, the more your mouth learns what to do. Think about how babies learn to speak. They hear sounds first. They listen for many months before saying a word. They don't study pronunciation. They don't read the International Phonetic Alphabet. They just listen. And slowly, they copy what they hear. You can do the same with music. When you listen to songs in English, your ears start to hear the rhythm of the words. You hear how fast or slow they are. You hear where the voice goes up and where it goes down. You hear how some words connect together. This is called the music of the language. And music teaches it perfectly. Even if you don't sing out loud, your brain is practicing. Your ears are training. And with time, your mouth starts to follow. Some people like to sing with the music. Others just move their lips silently. Both ways are good. You are not trying to be perfect. You are just trying to feel the sound. And slowly, the difficult words don't feel so difficult anymore. You don't need to think, how do I say this word? Your mouth already knows, because it has heard it many times before. That's the power of listening. It teaches your pronunciation without books. It teaches your mouth how to move. Gently, naturally, with practice. So, don't be afraid of strange sounds. Let music help you. Let the sounds enter your ears every day. Don't worry about saying things perfectly now. Just keep listening. Later, when it's time to speak, you'll be surprised. Because your brain and your mouth will remember the sound, and the words will feel easier. That's not luck. That's practice. Quiet, slow, simple practice through music. Sometimes when we study English from a book, the sentences feel strange. They are correct. But nobody really talks like that. In real life, people speak differently. They use short phrases. They use contractions. They connect words. They speak fast or slow depending on how they feel. Books can teach you rules, but music shows you how English sounds in real life. When you listen to music, you hear real sentences. You hear natural expressions. You hear the way people really talk, with emotion, rhythm, and energy. This is important. Because if you only study formal English, you may understand grammar, but not people. Music brings you closer to the way English is used every day. Not in the classroom, but in the world. When you hear a song, you start to recognize small words that connect big ideas. Words like gonna, or wanna, or gotta. These are not always in textbooks, but they're in songs, in movies, in real conversations. And when you hear them again and again in music, your brain learns them naturally. No need to memorize. No need to translate. Also, music teaches tone. Tone means the feeling in the voice. It shows you when someone is happy, sad, excited, or tired. Just by how they say something. That helps you understand more than just words. It helps you understand meaning. It helps you connect with the language. For example, you might hear a phrase in a song that feels warm. You may not understand all the words, but you understand the feeling. And that's the beginning of real listening. Music gives you English with context. You hear how sentences sound in a story, in a feeling, in a moment. And your brain learns faster when it understands the situation. So if you want to learn real English, not just rules, but life, listen to music. Let it show you how English is used in a natural way. Let it teach you how words flow, how feelings sound, and how language lives. Don't worry if you don't understand everything now. Just keep listening. Let the sound become familiar. Let the language feel alive. Because music is more than just entertainment. It's a teacher, a soft, patient, and powerful teacher. And it's ready to help you learn English every time you press play. When we learn a new language, we often focus on words. We ask, what does this mean? How do I say that? But there's something deeper, something more powerful than words. It's emotion. Emotion helps your brain learn. It helps your memory. It helps your understanding. And music is full of emotion. When you listen to music, you don't just hear the words. You feel the words. You hear the sound of the voice. You feel the sadness, the joy, the hope, or the pain. And even if you don't understand all the vocabulary, your brain understands the feeling. That feeling creates a connection, and that connection helps you learn. Let's think about this. When you read a list of words, you may forget them after 5 minutes. But when you hear those words in a song that touches your heart, you remember them for years. Why? Because emotion opens the door to memory. It makes the words important. It gives them meaning. Music is one of the few ways to experience English with emotion, especially when you are still a beginner. You may not understand a full movie. You may not follow a long conversation. But with music, you can still feel something. That emotion tells your brain, this is important, pay attention. So even when you don't understand all the words, you are still learning. Your ears are opening. Your heart is helping your mind. Emotion also makes learning feel easier. You don't feel like you're working. You don't feel like you're studying. You feel something real. And that makes English more personal, more human. That's why many people say music helped me fall in love with English. Because it didn't start with rules. It started with a feeling. You can do the same. Find a song that moves you. Listen again and again. You don't need to understand everything. Let the emotion guide you. Your brain will begin to connect sounds to meaning. Not with translation, but with feeling. This is how babies learn. This is how we all learn best. So next time you hear music in English, don't ask, what does this word mean? Ask, what do I feel when I hear this? That feeling is a message, and over time, your understanding will grow from that feeling into words, into meaning, into confidence. Let emotion be your teacher, and let music be the voice of English in your heart. Have you ever studied a list of English words, read them 5 times, and then forgotten them the next day? That's normal. Your brain doesn't like to remember words that feel boring, words that are just alone, with no feeling, no sound, no context. But when a word is part of a song, something different happens. You remember it, not because you tried hard, not because you studied it many times, but because your brain liked the experience. Music helps vocabulary stick, like glue. It connects the word to a sound, to a feeling, to a memory. And that connection makes the word stronger in your mind. Let's say you hear a simple word in a song, a word like rain, home, or smile. You don't just hear it one time. You hear it again and again, in the melody, in the chorus, and each time you hear it, your brain gets a little faster. The first time, what is that word? The second time, oh, I think I heard this before. The 5th time, I know this now. That's how it works. And the best part? You don't feel tired. You're not studying. You're just enjoying the music. This is very different from memorizing. When we memorize, we repeat without feeling. It's just work. But with music, you are feeling something while you listen. You are enjoying the process, and because of that, your brain holds the word longer. It's not only about remembering the word, it's also about remembering how the word sounds and when to use it. You don't just learn the meaning, you learn the feeling behind the word. That's much more powerful than a dictionary. Also, music gives you words in context. This means you don't just learn the word by itself. You hear how it's used in a sentence. You hear what comes before and after, and that helps you understand how to use it later when you speak or write. Music is full of useful vocabulary, simple words, common phrases, everyday expressions. These are the words people actually use. So, if you want to grow your vocabulary, don't just look for long word lists. Listen to English songs. Choose one you like. Play it again. Let the words repeat. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen. Your brain is listening too, and little by little, the vocabulary will stay with you. Because when a word lives in a song, it also lives in your memory. Sometimes, the biggest problem in learning English is not grammar, it's not vocabulary, it's not listening or speaking, it's fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of not understanding, fear of sounding strange, and fear can stop your progress completely. But music can help you change that. Music builds confidence, quietly, gently, naturally. Here's how. When you listen to music in English, you're not afraid. Nobody is watching. Nobody is correcting you. You're just listening, feeling, enjoying the sound. That experience gives you freedom. It reminds you that English is not only about rules. It's about connection. It's about sound. It's about feeling something new, without fear. You don't have to speak. You don't have to answer questions. You just let the English come in through your ears. And that's the first step to confidence, being comfortable with the sound. Over time, your ears begin to recognize more. You understand small words, then phrases, then sentences. And one day, without thinking too much, you repeat a line softly. Maybe you say it out loud. Maybe you whisper it. Maybe you sing it. In that moment, you're not just listening, you're speaking, and you didn't force it. It came naturally. That's real confidence. Music helps you speak without pressure. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to try. And the more you try, the more your fear disappears. Some people feel shy speaking in English. They're afraid of making mistakes. But with music, there are no mistakes. You're free to copy the sounds, to enjoy the rhythm, to let the language become part of your voice. The melody supports you. The beat gives you courage. The repetition helps your memory. And all these small things grow your confidence. It may not happen in one day, but each time you listen to a song, you're training your mind and your voice to feel safe with English. And when you feel safe, you take more steps. You start to speak a little more. You feel proud, and your learning becomes stronger. So if you feel nervous about English, don't worry, just start with music. Put on your favorite song. Listen again and again. Maybe sing a little. Maybe just listen. Either way, you are growing. You are becoming more confident. And one day, you'll speak English. Not with fear, but with joy. Now you know that music helps. It helps your ears. It helps your memory. It helps your confidence. But maybe you're asking, how do I actually use music to learn English every day? The answer is keep it simple. Don't make it complicated. Don't try to understand everything. Just make music part of your daily life. You don't need to study songs for hours. You don't need to write down every word. That's not the goal. The goal is to listen often, gently and with joy. For example, you can listen to a song in the morning, maybe while brushing your teeth, or getting ready for the day. You can also listen while walking or riding the bus. If you have headphones, you can listen almost anywhere. Even 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Choose songs that make you feel something. It doesn't matter if you understand all the words. What matters is that you enjoy the sound, that you want to listen again. When you listen to the same song many times, you begin to recognize words. You start to hear patterns. And slowly, your brain begins to learn, without stress. You can also make a playlist. Put 5 or 10 songs you like in one list. Listen to that list every day. Over time, you'll start to understand more and more. You don't need to sing if you don't want to. But if you feel comfortable, try singing with the music. You don't have to be good. This is not about performance. It's about practice. When you sing, you use your mouth. You use your breath. You use your memory. And that makes your English stronger. Another idea is to choose one song for the week. Focus on that song. Listen to it many times during the week. Let it become familiar. Let the words stay in your mind. Some people also like to read the lyrics. This can help you connect sound with spelling. But remember, you don't have to understand everything. It's okay to enjoy the music first. Understanding will come with time. The most important thing is this: be consistent. A little bit every day is better than one long session once a week. 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow. That builds a habit, and habits build results. So, start today. Pick a time, pick a song, and just listen. Let music become your daily English routine. Not with pressure, not with rules, just with rhythm, feeling, and joy. English is not only a subject, it's a sound. And that sound can live in your day. One song at a time. Many people are afraid of making mistakes when learning English. They want to say everything correctly. They want to understand every word. They want to be perfect. But here's the truth. You don't have to be perfect. You only have to keep going. And music can help you do that. When you listen to music in English, you will not understand everything, especially at the beginning. And that's okay. You don't need to stop the song. You don't need to translate every word. You don't need to feel bad. Just keep listening. Your brain is learning, even when you don't feel it, even when you miss a word, even when the sentence is too fast. Your brain is still working in the background. Think of it like learning to swim. You don't learn by reading about water. You learn by being in the water again and again. Sometimes you float, sometimes you fall, but you keep trying, and with time, you learn. It's the same with English. Music puts you in the water. It gives you real English sounds. It gives you rhythm. It gives you emotion. And you just listen, again and again. Some days you will understand more. Some days, less. That's normal. That's part of the process. Mistakes are not the end. They are part of learning. And music helps you accept that. Because when you enjoy the music, you don't focus on mistakes. You don't feel stress. You just feel the sound. And that creates a safe space to learn. A space where you can try. A space where you don't need to be perfect. A space where progress happens slowly, naturally. Also, Music shows you that English is not always clear. Even native speakers don't understand every song. Sometimes the words are fast. Sometimes they're poetic or symbolic. And that's okay too. What matters is this: you keep listening. You come back to the song tomorrow. You give your brain time. You let the learning grow inside you. It's like planting a seed. You don't see it grow right away. But with time and with care, it becomes something strong. So don't worry if you don't understand today. Don't feel bad if a word disappears from your memory. That's part of learning. Just listen again, and again, and again. Each time, your brain hears more. Each time, you grow. And little by little, you'll understand things that felt impossible before. Mistakes are not the end. They are the beginning. And music is the path that helps you walk forward. One small step at a time. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to understand every word. You just need to listen again and again. Music is not a test. It's not homework. It's a simple way to feel the language, to hear real English, to enjoy the process. Every time you listen, you learn something. Even if it's small, even if you don't notice. So choose one song. Play it. Feel it. Let your ears grow stronger. Make music part of your day. Let it guide you. Let it teach you. Not with pressure, but with joy. One song at a time, one day at a time.